Okay, welcome to the US and China, turn 3. The Americans have 25, 35, 43, 50, 55 IPCs to spend. They're going to spend 10. This is the final round where they can purchase tech from other countries. So they're going to purchase long-range aircraft from the Aussies. So that's what they're going to do. They'll put that right on their board. So they have long-range aircraft. They're also purchasing a port for 15, a fighter for 10, a destroyer for 8, and 4 infantry for 12. The Americans do have an attack to make. They are going to be attacking C-Zone 108 and this German submarine with the destroyer from C-Zone 101. So we'll see what happens with that attack. There are no attacks for the Americans in the Pacific, but the Chinese have some attacks to make in China. They will be walking an infantry from Hopei into Anhui, and they will be attacking Shahar with 3 infantry and the fighter. And this is apparently a fight to the death. So we will see what happens with that. So we have 2 battles to do. I'll get the dice set up and we'll get going on those. Okay, this is the battle for C-Zone 108 in the North Atlantic. The USS Roe destroyer is going after U-81, a German submarine. So it's a 2 versus a 1. That's a miss. That's a hit. Oh, he's not going to like that. Okay, so the German submarine sinks the destroyer and stays alive in C-Zone 108. Yeah, he's not going to like that at all. Okay, this is the battle for Shahar in northern China. There are 3 Chinese infantry coming in, and the volunteer American Flying Tiger fighter. 1 hit. Alright, 2 infantry and an artillery. 1 hit. So 1 for 1 so far. So that goes there. So 2 1s and a 3. 2 hits, so that finishes the battle. I'll be happy with that. Okay. And 1 hit. So China takes the territory with 2 casualties. That does clear out the Japanese. Okay, non-combat for the Americans. The fighter that is in the eastern United States is going to take advantage of the fact that A, it is coming from an air base, and B, it now has the ability to move a longer range, to move 6 spaces, and end up in C-Zone 25 on one of the aircraft carriers that will eventually be there. In the Pacific, there's quite a bit of naval movement happening here. All of the Navy from C-Zone 7 and C-Zone 16 will congregate in C-Zone 25, dropping off the ground units into Midway. All of the naval units from C-Zone 26 will load up all of the material from Hawaii and also go to Midway. In the western United States, the fighter that is is going to end up on Midway, and the strategic bomber here is going to pick up these 2 infantry and bring them over to Midway as well. So basically everything is going to congregate at Midway. In terms of the Chinese, they only have 2 non-combat moves. They're going to move 1 of their 2 infantry remaining in Hopei to Shenxi, and they will be landing their fighter plane in Suiyuan. So that is, that's that. Okay, so let me tidy this up and we'll come back in a sec with placement and money. Okay, placement of new units for the Americans. 3 of the 4 new infantry are going to be placed in the eastern United States. The new destroyer is going to be placed in C-Zone 101. The 4th Infantry and the fighter are going to be placed in the western United States. And on Midway, if we can find room for it, we are going to place this naval base as well. So they have a naval base and an air base. For the Chinese, they will be placing their 2 new units in Xikang. So that's where they are right now. The only income adjustments we need to make are China gets back Anhui and Shahar. So that's going to be a +2 for them and a -2 for the Japanese. So let's make that adjustment here on the chart. So China will go from 9 to 11 and Japan will go from 47 to 45. Okay, so we'll see that China collects 11, the United States collects 50. So China, in their income, is going to get 11. They saved 2 IPCs from last turn, so they will have 13 IPCs to spend at the beginning of round 4. The United States has a base income of 50. It gets a 10 IPC bonus because it built at least 2 units in both the eastern and the western United States. It gets a 5 IPC bonus for having basically a bunch of its Pacific territory, Alaska, Hawaii, the Line Islands, etc., etc. And it gets 5 for having Mexico and Central America and all that stuff as well. So the Americans are going to go into the next round with an IPC total of 70 IPCs. This is where the American bonuses really start kicking in. Okay, so disposition of forces. On the Atlantic side of the board, the Americans now have 4 infantry, 3 mechanized infantry, and a total of 4 anti-aircraft artillery, 2 of which originally started on the other side of the board. In C-Zone 101, there is a destroyer. And then over here in the Pacific, in the western United States, there is a new fighter and infantry. And then the bulk of the American forces in the Pacific are concentrated in this area here. Okay, so what is actually on Midway? They have 2 fighters. They have 2 strategic bombers, one of which is currently designated an air transport, the other one of which is currently a bomber. And then they have 8 infantry in total. They have 2 artillery, they have a mechanized infantry, and they have a tank. And then in the C-zone surrounding Midway, which is C-zone, looks like 25, they have the following: 4 transports, 2 submarines, and 3 fully loaded super carriers. One carrier has 2 fighters and a tactical bomber. One carrier has 2 American fighters and 1 Russian fighter, and the other carrier has 2 fighters and a Russian tactical bomber. There are also 3 destroyers, 3 cruisers, and 1 battleship in the sea zone as well. So quite a bit threatening the Japanese in C-Zone 6 over here. Look at the naval presence on both sides of the board there. That's insane. Okay, UK turn is up next, so we'll get that locked and loaded and see what's going on there. And yeah, okay.